connectivity of Pakistan and China with Central Asia. CPEC and the Belt and Road Initiative can thus play an important role in upgrading infrastructure, thus removing a major bottleneck in enhancing connectivity and boosting trade between Pakistan and Central Asia. CPEC also offers enormous opportunity for connectivity among Central Asia, the Middle East and Africa. Even though Pakistan is not connected to any Central Asian state via land, the Karakoram Highway can be used to access Tajikistan via China. Tajikistan can thus play the role of a gateway to Pakistan for accessing Central Asia. Tajikistan is also next in line to join the Quadrilateral Traffic and Transit Agreement, or the QTTA. The QTTA allows movement of transit goods in the territories of all contracting parties without duties. May I also add that as an important part of CPEC, now we are moving to the next stage where we need to start working very hard on the 9 special economic zones that Pakistan is supposed to do under CPEC. With the 9 special economic zones that our BOI is working on, we'll be able to provide opportunities for many other investors from many other parts of the world to come and invest in these industrial zones where there will be lots of opportunities available. We are also looking at relocation of industry into these special economic zones, and thus make them as engines of growth in areas where they exist. These 9 special economic zones will be in all parts of Pakistan and will provide the basis for economic development in these areas. In addition to that, now with the focus on poverty alleviation, on working on the socio-economic sectors, it will the outcomes for the people of Pakistan, Turkmenistan. The potential for these new Silk Roads is that they will allow us to engage with Europe and beyond. Further trade estimates for the Central Asian states and Afghanistan. Gwadar will be at China, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Russia in this highway, and proposed to be introduced via West Tajikistan and Turkmenistan via Afghanistan. It provides access to the maritime Pakistan sea routes at an important pedestal. Gwadar port would not only double the capacity of Pakistani maritime trade, it will also open a window to the sea for the landlocked countries in Central Eurasia. The development of Gwadar would help Pakistan to gain important dividends. Gwadar helps Pakistan connect with 4 important and resource-rich regions of the world. Rehabilitation of roads, ladies and gentlemen, to Afghanistan from the Gwadar port will also give Afghan products greater export possibilities and shipping options. Gwadar is closer to Xinjiang than any other seawater port in China and will decrease much of the trade costs to and from Xinjiang. The Central Asian states will get greater advantage extensively as well, as the port opens the possibility of promoting their oil trade worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, economic integration and connectivity are effective instruments to achieve economic development, thus helping countries achieve peace and stability. In the emerging world order, the emphasis is more on economic and trade partnerships rather than political alliances. Pakistan, located at the crossroad of Central and West Asia, has tremendous potential. The role of CPEC is not only confined to economic development of Pakistan, it also provides opportunities to our friends and neighbors. Economic integration and enhanced connectivity would certainly help to improve the livelihoods of the people of the region. CPEC can act as a catalyst for economic development of the region. So we all work together with all our friends from the Central Asian republics, with China, to take forward this very exciting prospects of greater integration, of greater connectivity, of being able to work on issues that directly affect the lives of the people of Pakistan and the people of the Central Asian republics, as well as the people of China. We get bound together more effectively by CPEC, we get bound together more effectively by the possibilities that CPEC offers to, in the economic field especially, to our friends and partners within the region. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker of today's seminar, Mr. Yao Jing, has served as envoy to Afghanistan as well from 2013 till 2015. Mr. in motion of the CPEC projects. Mr. Jing has played a central role. Mr. Yao Jing for his remarks.
Secretary, Mr. Chairman, Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, the DG of ISSI, Mr. Chaudhry, Excellencies, Ambassadors, my happy that to have topic that Pakistan, CPEC, and the Central Asia Republics. But as because I just came back from China after receiving the Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan. And I just want to share a little about my impression about this visit, as the Foreign Secretary rightly pointed out just now that this is a very successful visit. I think from the China's point of view, or from our government and our leadership's point of view, that this visit is very significant. First, that we had the first ever interaction between the two leaders, top leaders of Pakistan and China, to have a direct interaction. And the Prime Minister, Mr. Imran Khan, briefed the Chinese President, Prime Minister, major leaders about his vision, his policy, and his direction of the future development of Pakistan. I think that his briefing is very convincing, and his briefing is also very encouraging. So this is the first time that both the leaders have a thorough understanding of each other by this kind of meetings and talks. And the second is a very strong signal is given by this visit. I think the joint statement has made it very clear that both Pakistan and China will work together for a closer community of shared future in the new era. CPEC is, among others, is one of the topics, and I would like to elaborate what is the outcome of discussion later on. And thirdly, I think more importantly, that a good chemistry and a good relationship has been established between our two leaderships. I think that we were quite convinced and encouraged by the Mr. Imran Khan, or this new government of Pakistan's future plan and the direction of its reform, its new Pakistan design with the people at the center. Everywhere the Prime Minister goes in China, he was talking about that, for example, poverty elevation. He's talking about this development for the community. He's talking about the agriculture and talking about anti-corruption, all these. So I think that this kind of chemistry is more important because a direct connection and direct links between the two leaderships will help to have a better track and also better development of our future relations. Of course, CPEC, among others, is one of the major topics. But I would like to elaborate that out of this visit, the CPEC, I think, has gained more momentum. By momentum, I mean that first, both leaders or both the governments decided that the CPEC need to be further broadened and further expanded. By broadened and expanded means that we will add more people-driven or community-based efforts or projects in CPEC as the preliminary or as the first two major areas of the CPEC cooperation for the next stage. We put that the industry cooperation and social cooperation as the major areas of the next or the new stage of the CPEC development. And meanwhile, of course, the ongoing projects of these infrastructures will be carried forward as scheduled. And the next joint coordinating meeting under the CPEC will be held by the end of this month to to work out that the detailed projects or detailed plans of the broadened or expanded CPEC for the next stage. And both the governments reiterate that necessary resources and the necessary support will be extended for the CPEC cooperation. And the second, both the leaders also decided that CPEC should be a platform or would be a vehicle for a broader regional connectivity or regional cooperation, that third parties should be invited and welcomed to participate in the CPEC cooperation. So I think that by this visit, I think it is very, very significant is that both the leaders decided to usher in a new stage of our bilateral relationship and the cooperation. And the CPEC is a part of that, even that the CPEC could expect a new stage of our cooperation. But coming back to today's topic, I think it was 5 years ago that when the President Xi of China visited Kazakhstan, that he initiated or started this concept of Silk Road economic corridor, I think in Kazakhstan. Then this is the first ever initiative for the Chinese government leader to start this Belt and Road initiative. Later on, also it was 5 years ago when President Xi visited Indonesia, he started another, that's the Maritime Silk Road initiative. So Central Asia, in fact, is the originating areas that of this Belt and Road initiative. I worked in Afghanistan, and I also have been in Pakistan for almost 1 year now. By engaging myself in this kind of cooperation, I would like to say that CPEC, to some extent, it is more conceptual than physical. CPEC, it is a part of the BRI, or Belt and Road Initiative. BRI basically is a kind of connectivity, but this connectivity is both physical and conceptual. And sometimes this conceptual or perceptions connection or connectivity is more important. For example, Pakistan is one most important partner and friend for China in this neighborhood. And China, of course, valued a lot for our traditional friendship and partnership with Central Asian republics. I still remember that when I was serving in Kabul, that I tried a lot trying to increase the connectivity or the links with between Afghanistan and China. But unfortunately, that because the long conflicts or the security concern in Afghanistan, that gives a little. But I think at that time, we worked with Central Asian republics, for example, that we started a cargo train from China towards Mazar-i-Sharif. And after China, Kazakhstan provided drivers and locomotives. Uzbekistan provided this access towards Herat in Mazar-i-Sharif. And we also started some kind of, I should say, regional cooperation with Tajikistan. Even we have security, anti-terrorism security cooperation between China, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. Of course, like Turkmenistan, you have started this project of TAPI, and Kazakhstan also from this Kazakh 1000. So in fact, a lot of efforts have been started in Central Asia along with Afghanistan. And meanwhile, I can also see when I was in Afghanistan, this CPEC, this one part of the BRI is also undergoing a very successful conduction and implementation here. So it is quite natural that for China and Pakistan that how can we offer this opportunity? How can we make this opportunity available for Afghanistan, for Central Asia, for a better connectivity? I think by offering this opportunity, I mean, basically China, Pakistan, Central Asia first, I think we should have more connectivity or the more linkages in the policies. I believe that all these countries, China, Pakistan, and the Central Asian republics are included. We are all developing countries, and we all faced with the major challenge, that is the further development of our national economy. So if all the policies of all these nations and countries could be focused on the development driven, I believe that this geographical connectivity and economic development definitely will help us to move closer. Second, it is the linkage of the efforts or the approaches that all the countries in this neighborhood, China, along with Pakistan and the Central Republics, we can coordinate and cooperate in the policies and approaches towards these regions' peace, stability, and prosperity. We can coordinate, and we have started coordination on, for example, for the peace efforts or for the peace and reconciliation in Afghanistan, for how to dealing with the common challenges like the terrorism, like the drug issues in this region, so that the linkage or the coordination of the efforts and approaches could be one of another areas. Of course, the third one of the linkage or the connectivity lies with the infrastructure. I think that this is already a consensus of the whole region, and China started this corridor as the CPEC indicates, as well as the China, Central Asia, West Asia corridor. We have a lot of things to cooperate, areas to cooperate. For example, in the development sector, that both the South Asia or Pakistan, China, and Central Asia, I think that we have a lot of supplementary demands for our future development. Central Asia is rich in resources. I think that huge markets existing in both in Pakistan, China, for these kind of resources and energies. And the second, Pakistan of course could offer or provide very important access towards the seaports for the Central Asia, for the western part of China. And thirdly, I believe that China, Pakistan, and Central Asia, we have the traditional and historical bonds of our friendship and partnership. This kind of political trust, this kind of traditional confidence among one another, I think is very crucial and important for us to conduct whatever physical or conceptual cooperation among the nations. Of course, there are several challenges in this region for us to expand to this kind of connectivity. Among others, Afghanistan, the situation in Afghanistan is a problem, is a reason for our further conducting this kind of cooperation. But I think the regional countries have realized that all the regional countries should work together, so we can see that a lot of new initiatives or efforts coming from Pakistan, from Uzbekistan, coming from SCO, coming from the regional countries have started. And for this, I think as far as China is concerned, that we welcome and we support all the regional approaches and initiatives for that. Because the peace and stability, the resumption of the reconciliation process in Afghanistan will benefit all of us. And the future cooperation and connectivity also, to some extent, depends on the situation in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is important, but I think that the cooperation among the regional countries or stakeholders is also equally important for us to bring in a new prospect of peaceful or development among the region. CPEC could be could be because right now between China and Pakistan and Afghanistan, we have started a new initiative of trilateral cooperation. and there was some discussion of some project for the connectivity between Afghanistan and Pakistan. China definitely will support and also facilitate such efforts because we believe both Pakistan and Afghanistan could benefit from a kind of joint development of these connectivity infrastructures. And to the further purposes to engage Central Asia countries will help or will even that can help to demonstrate the true essence of the BRI or the CPEC, because the CPEC basically is a project for the betterment of the community, of the people, of the nation of this region. In this regard, I think China and Pakistan have full confidence and also full consensus that to engage the regional friends and partners in this kind of initiative. And both China and Pakistan are also ready that to engage the regional countries, in particular Central Asia republics, for cooperation in this direction. Thank you.
Is His Excellency Mr. Barlebe Sediko. Mr. Sediko is New York, Ambassador at Large, MFA, Head of... I now request His Excellency Mr. Barlebe Sediko.
Primarily depend on ability to create and maintain efficient interregional and interstate trade flows. The pace at which we meet this objective will be determined by a number of factors, including the quality of infrastructure, ease of doing business, transportation costs and logistics that set the framework for interregional and interstate economic collaboration. Kazakhstan, as the largest in the world landlocked country, has always attached great importance to the issue of connectivity and regional cooperation. One of the main priorities of Kazakhstan is to promote the transit and transport potential and ensure the connectivity of our country with the rest of the world. Kazakhstan has actively pursued regional cooperation aimed at reinvigorating the role of Central Asia as a bridge between Asia and Europe, Middle East and other parts of the world, and launched a number of initiatives, including establishment of Central Asian Union, Eurasian Union, other formats of cooperation. Today, countries of Central Asia are at the new stage of cooperation. Working consultative meeting of the presidents of Central Asia in March this year in Astana became an event of historical significance. During the meeting, heads of state determined basic priorities of regional cooperation and agreed on future plans of cooperation. It was desired of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, to create Eurasia, including Pakistan, and in promoting great economic integration. This strategy with those of neighboring countries. Our connectivity to achieve maximum results from our location and modern transportation. Kazakhstan has invested approximately 30 billion, 4,000 kilometers of new roads, including the Western China-Western Europe Highway. We have built the Hormuz dry port and special economic zone on the border with China, Bandar Abbas in Iran, Port Klaipeda in 2013. Both projects, Kazakh mark the 5th anniversary of BRI. Seaports of Pakistan. Kazakhstan also sees a great win. Such mega projects could be implemented through territories of other countries. Gas pipeline, Kasa 1000, priorities and challenges to the region. Connectivity and trade economic cooperation with Pakistan and countries of our people. Let me again express my deep appreciation and gratitude to the Institute for Strategic Studies for the well-organized seminar which has given us a good opportunity to discuss the prospects of strengthening connectivity between
bilateral trade and economic cooperation is currently low and does not correspond to the potential of two countries. Pakistan investment to Kyrgyzstan is about 5 million. There is a dire need to take sector-specific measures to promote two-way trade. So I believe as soon as the CPEC project gets fully operational, it will become much convenient for Kyrgyzstan and Pakistan and all countries of the region to explore each other markets on a regular basis. Today, Kyrgyzstan is interested in development of short transportation links through its territory between Central Asia and China and Pakistan, with access to the Gwadar and Karachi ports using railway and automobile roads, which are being constructed in the frame of CPEC. As you know, shortest automobile roads are connecting China to Kyrgyzstan through two border mountain passes in Kyrgyzstan. Torgard in the north and Erkishtam in the south, located only about 200 kilometers from Chinese city of Kashgar. The road through Kyrgyz border post Erkishtam is the shortest way from Fergana Valley, which is shared between Uzbekistan, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan to China. Our country is also a member of the QTTA agreement, as already mentioned our colleagues, between Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, China and Pakistan for facilitating transit traffic and trade on the road through High Karakorum Road to Karachi port, which unfortunately currently is not working to its full capacity. It is also a task for the member countries of the agreement intensify negotiation to facilitate the movement of goods through the borders. Currently, the negotiation on the shortest railway road China, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan are in progress. After completion of this project, the route from East Asia to Middle East and South Europe will be reduced for almost 1,000 kilometers and goods delivery time for 7-8 days. In October last year, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan and China launched the test drive of 9 trucks, 3 trucks from each country, through a new international trade road, Tashkent, Andijan, Uzbekistan, Osh, Irkishtam, Kyrgyzstan and Kashgar, China. The caravan of trucks passed 920 kilometers in 31 hours, from which 16 hours were driving time. The interest to the new trade road is due to the minimal time for the goods delivery from 2 days to 1 day, however. The old road would take 8-10 days and be more expensive. This new Uzbekistan-Kyrgyzstan-China motor corridor is expected to begin its regular activity in the current year. And just now my colleague in China, they talk about this issue. First, bus links, whose all Kurgan to Kashgar, can reach within, as I already mentioned, from Kashgar to our border only 180 kilometers we can reach from Uzbekistan-Kyrgyzstan-China motor corridor is expected to begin its regular activity in Asia. In their turn, countries of Central Asia through Kyrgyzstan and China will have short access by railway road to Karachi and Gwadar seaports and benefit from cheap sea and railroad transportation. As you see, step-by-step connectivity, industrialization, trade promotion, energy generation, and much more. In conclusion, allow me to extend my best greeting to Pakistani people as well as sincere wish of peace and prosperity.
General ISSI, Ambassador Khalid Mahmoud, Chairman of ISSI, my dear colleague, ambassadors, excellencies, scholars, our friends, guests, students, Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to congratulate our colleague from ISSI for organizing a very wonderful seminar. It is second function when you are gathered together from Central Asia. First we had in CGSS, it was in April, and second in your very well-known institute. I have to say you're choosing very right time. Now the process is going on in Central Asia. It opens tremendous opportunity for Pakistan itself. We now improving our relations among the neighbors. We develop trade. We increased also relations. We are focused on connectivity, railway, energy sector, tourism, transport and transit. It's also a very positive signal for Pakistan. Second, Central Asia, however, we have already more than 27 years relation official. But Central Asia and Pakistan always have some deep historical, spiritual, cultural, religious ties and bonds. We have the common history, and Pakistan was also part of Silk Road, which also gives some idea and some background to focus on our relations in the future. I recall now from my experience in 2014 when we received leadership of Pakistan in Dushanbe. First time it was 17th of June 2014. We officially welcomed CPEC, one of the key projects for connectivity and new chance and also development for entire region. Let me to also brief our position regarding the Pakistan and regional connectivity. First of all, for us, for Tajikistan, trade and economic opportunities of Pakistan, its strategic location in South Asia, and also its position in Islamic world are very important. We, in 2017, have signed declaration, and Pakistan and Tajikistan officially now strategic partnership in the region. We have not only improved our relations in trade, in energy, in transport and trade, also we've developed our relations in defense and security. We are, let me to also brief about you on which area we're working with Pakistan. First, it is energy. You know, the Pakistan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Kyrgyzstan, they are part of CASA 1000 project, which, inshallah, by 2021, we will supply more 1,300 megawatts energy to Pakistan. I have also to brief you that in 16 November will be launched first stage of first of project and project with a power station Ragun, and we'll be able more additionally 1,600 megawatts. Its total capacity is the power station is 3,600 megawatts, but in the beginning we can do also supply more energy, and also you'll be meet your demands. Pakistan and Tajikistan set up working joint group on energy infrastructure. We already had 3 meetings in Dushanbe, and we discussed how we further focus on construct additional transmission line in besides of CASA 1000, which are able to supply more energy to Pakistan. Second, it is connectivity. You remember that in 2015, my president was in Pakistan with official state visit in Pakistan, and it was 13th of November, and in Mari, our leadership, one day only discussed the connectivity and how to discuss the road and the railway. One was it's Peshawar, Turkham, Jalalabad, Kabul, Kunduz, Panjshir. Second was it's through Wakhan corridor. Third one was Khunjarab, Kashgar, Karasu, and Kulma. And third, our priority is of course trade. Trade. Our volume is low due to some situation, transit situation in Afghanistan, secure situation. But we also set up working group on trade, investment, and transport. We already had 2 meetings in Dushanbe and Islamabad, and we prepared draft agreement on transit trade. We are working to sign it soon, inshallah. Tajikistan officially also requested Pakistan as depository to become 5th part of KPTA, which part of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, and China, and soon Tajikistan also became 5th part of this agreement also, which opened new legal basis for trade and connectivity among the other countries. Of course, we also focus on the transit. Transit, we think that's very, very important element for trade, which improves our life of our nation. It gives new job, hope for all entire region of population of the region. We had already 2 meetings in Dushanbe. That was in Dushanbe in April. We finalized our agreement on transit between Pakistan and Tajikistan, and also will be able to sign soon. Of course, one of the being a neighbor of Afghanistan, we share with Afghanistan, Tajikistan more 1,500 kilometers. We also have some commitment in being first line of border of CIS countries, or Central Asian countries. We are working very close with Pakistan on defense and security issues. which also gives some new positive roles in our cooperation. I also, regarding the your proposal, I have we are limiting to the seminar. I have some humble proposal. Maybe you should continue to consider establish some forum like we have like Japan plus Central Asia, South Korea plus Central Asia, or maybe also to continue such activity like Pakistan plus Central Asian countries. And of course, in Pakistan, you have seen many studies, I mean, centers for studies like Gulf studies, non-professional studies, maybe also establishing in Pakistan some Central Asian studies in the Indian institutes also. And of course, we are now working also to open flights, and because without flights, it's very important to reach, it's difficult to reach each other. Flights is a key element for trade and especially tourism and people-to-people contact. We had already last week our meeting with civil aviation authorities, and hope will be soon have flights soon. Thank you very much for a very important seminar, and wish you all the best. Looking forward to working. Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and assalamu alaikum. At the beginning of my speech, I would like to thank the Institute of Strategic Studies for organizing this wonderful seminar. My country, Turkmenistan, is known for its huge gas reserves, neutral foreign policy, and socially oriented domestic policy. But in my speech, in accordance with our today's topic, I want to talk about the transport and connectivity policy of Turkmenistan. From the first years of independence, the leadership of Turkmenistan pays particular attention to the development of transport and transit network in the country and in the region. In this regard, I want to note that Turkmenistan made a lot of infrastructure projects in the country, and also pays attention to the development of connections with neighboring countries and the region. And especially I want to mention about Turkmenistan is leading in the infrastructure projects of confidence building measures of Istanbul process. This is regarding supporting of Afghan government and development in the region. And I would like to remind you about some important infrastructure projects which are already implemented in Turkmenistan. In 1996, construction of Tejen-Siraks-Mashhad railway with length of 142 kilometers. It was done by Turkmen government and Iran, and this railway has become a first vital link of Central Asian, Russian and European rail systems with South Asia and Iran. In 1999, the railway line from Turkmenabad city to Kirkuk city in Turkmenistan was inaugurated. In 2006, that one was length 2,005 km. In 2006, Trans-Karakum railway, 540 kilometers, a direct link between Turkmen capital Ashgabat and northern provincial capital Dashavuz city that reduced to half travel time between the southern and northern borders of Turkmenistan. In 2014, the North-South Transnational Railway, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran. The railway is a part of the Northern-South Transport Corridor and has a length of 677 kilometers, connecting Uzen in Kazakhstan with Bereket, Etret in Turkmenistan, and ending at Gorgan city of Iran's Gulistan province. In Iran, railway linked to national network, making its way to the Iranian seaports. In 2016, a railway line from Atamurad city of Lebap province to Imam Nazar on the border with Afghanistan and further to Akina in Andkhoy district of Afghan Georgian province has been commissioned. And this was the second railway connection to Afghanistan from Turkmenistan. After Serhadabad-Turgunji railway, which also was modernized and extended by Turkmen government in 2017 and 2018. I think it is worth mentioning that the Atamurat Imam Nazar Akina Railway is the first stage of the Asian International Transport Corridor, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Tajikistan. In 2016, new beautiful international airport in Turkmen capital was commissioned. In May of this year, 2018, Turkmen also beyond. This year, by the initiative of Turkmen President, declared in Turkmenistan as a year of the Turkmenistan, the heart of the Great Silk Road. It was initiated by President Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov and reflects the concept of modern development of the country based on historical experience, good neighborliness, desire for greater regional connectivity and global integration and socio-economic prosperity. Turkmenistan is located at the crossroads of the most important transport corridors connecting Asia and Europe, actively interacts with regional states for further expansion of the cooperation. Based on the historical experience of Great Silk Road, Turkmenistan is reviving today in a new capacity and creates wide opportunities for international transport and transit corridors. Collectively, these corridors aimed at provision of the multimodal transport in the direction north, south, and east, west. As you know, Turkmenistan is a part of recently initiated Lapis Lazuli corridor, that is Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey, and the Central Asian Middle East corridor, that is Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Iran, Oman. These corridors provide wide inter-regional connectivity for participating countries. Nowadays, connectivity in any of its sense, energy lines, pipelines, maritime, air, rail, and road transportation links became the artery feeding the economy's vital functions of any state. And at the core of this process is political will and desire. This describes the international process spinning of the top of economic and political agenda in Asian nations. Among these project of gas pipeline, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, the Tapi Energy Bridge, initiated and promoted by Turkmenistan, along with other regional projects, will be a stabilizing factor for the region and beyond. Tapi now is enriched with more expanded content and can be rightfully called as Tapi Corridor, taking into account that electricity line, fiber optic line, railway and highways will run in parallel with it. Turkmenistan always showed great commitment to actively participate in the global transport dialogue. Moreover, Turkmenistan is ready to speed up and expand this dialogue, filling it with new specific projects and plans. Turkmenistan is primarily guided by its vision of Central Asia as an integrated and essential part of the modern global development process, in which the Silk Road of the 21st century will be a game changer in the days to come. Constructive proposals made by Turkmen leader, President Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, find wide support in the world community. It was proven by the unanimous adoption of the resolution on strengthening of the links between all modern models of transport to achieve the goals of sustainable development at the 74th meeting of the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly in December 2017. It is important to note that previously the United Nations adopted the resolution on the role of transport and transit corridors in provision of international cooperation for sustainable development, and the resolution on towards comprehensive cooperation among all modes of transport for promoting sustainable multimodal transit corridors by the initiative of our country. On one of the sessions of Cabinet of Ministers, Turkmen leader, highlighting the importance of UN resolution on strengthening of the links between all modes of transport, noted that it was another step toward the establishment of international regulatory and legal base for the further formation of transport networks combining automobile, railway, maritime, and airlines by intermodal logistics centers and bases, which would support economic growth on regional and international level. steadfast integration to the world logistics systems and further expansion of the infrastructure of the main lines connecting routes and hubs in the east-west and north-south direction are among the key objectives for the nearest future. Formation of important logistic corridors on these lines is very important in the context of connection to the international transport system in southern and eastern directions with the entry to China, India, Pakistan, and Asian Pacific countries. The idea of creation of bigger form of cooperation itself is an example of genuine innovative thinking in geopolitics and the vision of strategic perspectives of this development. At the end of my speech, I would like to express my confidence that regional transport and transit corridors will further strengthen trade and economic development in the region and improve current situation in all spheres. Thank you very much.
In all fields, regional security, stability agenda, including conflict resolution in Afghanistan, and expansion of infrastructure, trade, economic ties between Central Asia and Pakistan. In this context, I would like to emphasize positive result of the recent visit of the Uzbek delegation, headed by Foreign Minister of His Excellency Abdullah Kamilov to Pakistan on November 1st this year. We express our gratitude to Pakistani government for organizing Uzbek delegation visit to Islamabad in the highest level. During this visit, the leadership of Pakistan was offered to realize the project initiated by President of Uzbekistan, His Excellency Shavkat Mirziyoyev, on setting up trilateral trade and infrastructure commission between Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. This project will include the construction of the massive railroad transport corridor, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan. In detail, corridor will compose this rail in-line Uzbekistan-Mazar-e Sharif, which has been already realized between Uzbekistan and Afghanistan, as well as construction of the new railroad Mazar-e Sharif, Kabul, Peshawar. Then we will come to Pakistan. In perspective, full realization of this unique transport corridor will make Pakistan as a central regional hub between South Asia and Central Asia, and Pakistan could help us to connect Central Asia even to the Middle East. Prime Minister of Pakistan, His Excellency Mr. Imran Khan, noted that the government of Pakistan fully support this logistic initiative of President of Uzbekistan and all the initiative of President of Uzbekistan on Afghanistan. We are highly grateful to the leadership of Pakistan for this expressed support. Construction of this rail corridor was also stated in the official address of the Uzbekistan President, addressed to Prime Minister of Pakistan on October of this year. In this official letter, our President, His Excellency Shavkat Mirziyoyev, offered to strengthen bilateral and multilateral cooperation to create the most favorable trade and logistic condition in the region. Implementation of this project, the amount of more than $3 billion. Its length is approximately 700 kilometers. It's the shortest way to the ocean for Central Asian countries. International financial institutes and our neighbors, including Russia, supporting this transportation initiative of Uzbekistan. At the beginning of December of this year, on December 1st and December 5th, first meeting of the railways authorities of these countries, including Russia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Uzbekistan, will take part in Tashkent. We are expecting the active participation of our Pakistan estimated partners. What is the big importance of this project? It can totally resolve the problem of connectivity between our countries, as well as become the only optimal way for Central Asian countries to access Pakistani seaport, Gwadar and Karachi. As you know, over the last year, Uzbekistan is carrying out many logistic and energy projects in the region. Jointly with with Afghanistan, we will start new railways, Mazar-e Sharif Herat, with lengths of 600 kilometers. In total cost of this project will be $2 billion. Project, Qatar's power transmission line, Surkhan-Puri line with capacity of 500 kilowatt. Its length will be 200 kilometers, including 45 kilometers along the territory of Uzbekistan. As you know that over 10 years, Uzbekistan supporting electricity in Afghanistan. From the January of this year, we are providing Afghanistan by cheapest electricity by approximately 4 cents per kilowatt. So we are ready to bring this electricity supply to Pakistan.
And the Sultan Kulum Kurumli project in future can be integrated part of this Castle 1000. You know, as you know that now President of Uzbekistan has new regional policy, open policy, and the good neighborhood policy. So we now supporting Castle 1000, and we will be support TAPI. So then Uzbekistan become a very active part of this, let's say, mega project. Moreover, energy project future can be connected with CPEC infrastructure project. More can connect Pakistan with Central Asia. Speaking about our relationship, I would like to say that on 2017, we resumed flights between Lahore and Tashkent. Only this year, more than 15,000 Pakistani passengers use Uzbek Airways to travel around the world. Inshallah, next year, we're planning to open flights from Karachi to Tashkent and from Islamabad to Tashkent. And I would like to say that the flights from Islamabad to Tashkent only 1 hour. Then we are closer than Karachi. So in this case, you know, only from Tashkent you can have direct flight only by Uzbek Airways to 42 countries. I think it's very good connectivity opportunity to travel between two countries. And I support my colleague that, you know, connectivity is very important to support business and economic relationship. I guess I just like to share some numbers with you. After resuming the flights between Uzbekistan and Pakistan, you know, our trade and business relations are increasing. Right now, our trade increased 3 times. For example, if 2017 trade turnover between Pakistan and Uzbekistan was only $36 million, right now our trade turnover more than $90 million. Inshallah, this year we will finish by more than $100 million. And we show that coming 3 or 4 years, trade turnover between Pakistan and Uzbekistan will be more than $300 million. Right now, Uzbekistan is the biggest economic partner of Pakistan. This year we signed investment agreements with Pakistan more than for $35 million. In only this 9 months of this year, we opened 25 joint ventures with Pakistan and Uzbekistan. Just its beginning, you know. And today, I would like to say thank you for organizing this conference and taking this opportunity. I'd like to invite all of you to pay visit to Uzbekistan, motherland of Zahraddin Muhammad Babur, Imam al-Bukhari, Bahauddin Naqshbandi, and of course Samarkand, Bukhara. Thank you so much.
Have to leave by 5 o'clock. We'll just open it for 2 questions and then make it. Please, Raza Khan, please.
Raza Khan, Special Correspondent, PDU. We were growing up and we were reading about opening of Central Asia to Pakistan, but somehow this peace in Afghanistan, and it is said in life that if there is the plan A doesn't succeed, you always have a plan B. And I think what Mr. Eric Beshambier proposed, this complete bypassing of Afghanistan through...
Pointed your question to me, I will answer it. There is no doubt in our minds, and I think all Central Asians are also equally convinced that peace in Afghanistan is an absolute imperative if you want to really connect the region well. But connectivity does not mean only one route or one segment. I think the connectivity through Karakoram Highway to Western China, to Tajikistan and onward, through Kyrgyzstan and onward to Kazakhstan is very much a viable route. And as was being pointed out, that there is a need to make it an all-weather route so that the trade picks up momentum. But the two are not mutually exclusive, at least I would not. I believe that if Afghanistan becomes peaceful, then all Central Asian states and Pakistan will benefit enormously from the connectivity. The full potential of connectivity will be blossomed only if Afghanistan returns to peace. And therefore Pakistan, more than any other country, has that desire, because instability in Afghanistan, no country suffers more than Pakistan from that. And therefore I think we are quite convinced. Sometimes despite desire, best of desires, best of intentions, we are not able to achieve that objective. But as an objective, It should. And I think the proposal that the Chinese leadership has often said, that if we can conceive some arrangement by which the CPEC can be extended to Afghanistan, then it would generate more incentives and peace constituencies will be developed in Afghanistan. So it will benefit. I do hope that at some point in time, Pakistan, China, Afghanistan can sit together and actually see if it is practically possible. If you come from Gwadar, go up the north, the first international spot is Kandahar. So therefore, I think it is a natural customer to extending CPEC. But of course, for extending CPEC, there has to be, because CPEC is a bilateral project between Pakistan and China, and there has to be negotiations on how this would happen. But I believe that I am very convinced that Pakistan at every level must make full efforts to bring peace in Afghanistan, to facilitate peace in Afghanistan. That's the ultimate. But that is not to say what you said and what Ambassador Kyrgyzstan said, that we need that alternative route also. Yes, sir.
Secondly, if you get the security, I'm talking, is Pakistan is thinking or about the Silk Road, Silk Road will also have some benefits from that gas. Thank you.
Correct me, Ambassador of Turkmenistan, if I am right, and Ambassador of Tajikistan. I think every stakeholder in Afghanistan is on board on getting that project through. And I think it is in the interest of Afghans, all shades of Afghans, that if the electricity from Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan comes and they get that benefit and then some of it passes on to Pakistan, I think they will be a net winner. This is very much a doable project, and we do hope that as Afghanistan returns to peace, these projects will actually deepen the peace in Afghanistan. Likewise, TAPI, the Turkmenistan is going full hog. I think they have made big preparations, and they are very much on board. And then if all goes well, actually Turkmen gas is intended to go even through Pakistan to India. As for IPs, that doesn't involve, of course, Afghanistan. It has a totally different dynamic. Pakistan was very close to getting this project through, but for the sanctions that were imposed, first the United Nations and US, and now only the US sanctions, we have not been able to find consortiums where the companies would be ready to engage in the project in the presence of sanctions. Everybody wants to preserve his or her business, and therefore we are saddened about it because it was a very cheap source of energy next door to Pakistan. But this is the world we live in, and these sanctions have undermined the project prospects of IP gas. I believe that the overall impact of CPEC and BRI and all this talk about connectivity is a very strong message that despite impediments, despite obstructions, despite difficulties, the region will benefit enormously if we all remain convinced that this is the way to go forward. And the purpose of this seminar was
the Chairman, Board of Governors, Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad, Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, for his concluding remarks.
Is in her inaugural address, the Director General in his welcome remarks, and ambassadors of China and Central Asian states have given their perspective of the seminar's theme about how critical role CPEC is expected to play in forging closer cooperation and integration among their countries in the fields of trade, economic cooperation, energy, infrastructure, and so on. I will attempt to very briefly give my perspective in 2-3 minutes. As I see it, after the end of World War II, during the Cold War period, interstate relations were dominated by security imperatives. This was an age of military alliances and securitization of even domestic policies. After the end of Cold War, focus shifted to socio-economic development. The age of globalization ushered in. At the moment, the security paradigm is again asserting, is getting resurrected. I am referring to Trumpian policies of unilateralism and coercion. In fact, these two modes or two models of interstate relations are at the moment jostling and competing with each other. The alternate model, which emphatically emphasizes common socio-economic development, is epitomized by the visionary BRI initiative of Chinese President Xi Jinping, embracing about 60 plus countries with an outlay of $5 trillion. It underscores that in the contemporary world, harmonization of economic interests and benefits is more important than ideologies in defining relations among states. Landlocked but rich Central Asian states require improved access to regional markets, including of Pakistan, China, India, and countries of West Asia and beyond. Pakistan and China have energy needs which can be met from Central Asia. So there is great complementarity of interest. PRI comprises 6 land economic corridors and 1 maritime Silk Road. Central Asian states' geographical location lends itself to benefit from both the Eurasian corridor and CPEC. But CPEC has an obvious advantage. It provides these landlocked states the shortest access to sea. And also CPEC is the fastest progressing of all other corridors. As regards Pakistan's significance in the CPEC, an author, Andrew Corribo, in his article, Pakistan is the zipper of pan-Eurasian integration, says that Pakistan has the potential to connect the massive economies of the Eurasian Union, Iran, SAARC, and China, thereby inaugurating the closest thing to an integrated pan-Eurasian economic zone. But there are some impediments in the way. The insecurity and instability plaguing Afghanistan. Of course, there are ways to bypass Afghanistan by establishing connectivity through China. Karakoram Highway, which is being upgraded, provides the necessary alternate artery. There also exists the 1995 quadrilateral traffic in transit agreement among Pakistan, China, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. In fact, a dry run of trade truck caravan plying on this route has already taken place. This route, of course, could be revived and further streamlined. But the connectivity through Afghanistan would remain the preferred option. This underlines the importance of finding an early peaceful settlement of Afghanistan so that it provides a secure conduit for Central Asian states' interaction with Pakistan and beyond. Pakistan and Central Asian states, along with other stakeholders, should redouble their efforts to promote national reconciliation and a peaceful settlement in Afghanistan. The recently held conference in this regard in Moscow is an encouraging development. There are some other miscellaneous impediments as well. Non-availability of direct air linkages except now between Uzbekistan and Pakistan, strict visa regimes, outdated banking systems, lack of understanding of local trading systems, and the language barrier. These factors impeding the full flowering of economic and trade potential need also to be addressed with all seriousness. Happily, there are no disputes existing between Pakistan and the Central Asian states. In fact, Pakistan shares with them deep-rooted religious, historical, and cultural links and strong economic and strategic complementarities. We cooperate with each other in the context of multilateral organizations, principally OIC, ECO, SCO, CAREC, and the UN system at large. Collaboration under CPEC would act as a catalyst and multiplier to their mutual benefits. In order to reap the benefit from CPEC, let us intensify our efforts at an early Afghan settlement and also speed up implementation of ongoing projects like TAPI and CASA 1000. With these remarks, I want to conclude my remarks and thank you, all of you, particularly the ambassadors of China and other Central Asian states, and all of you for joining us in this seminar and honoring the Institute. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This brings us to the end of the seminar. Please join us for some tea and coffee at the back. Thank you all for joining us today.